Hi, it's GTA Courses, and welcome to the second lesson of the .NET Developer series, in which we will cover the most relevant topics to become a .NET developer. So hit subscribe button and the bell to make sure to see new videos on our channel. Okay, let's go. In this lesson, we are going to learn what data types .NET has and their representation in C#. And also, we'll go through the differences that data types have. What data types does .NET have? When we talk about a computer program, we understand that it must contain certain instructions to manipulate some information that we want the computer to execute for us. Like show a form on the screen, and when somebody fills and submits this form, send it for processing. But how this information actually structured? The information in our program is not just like a text in a book that the compiler reads, because that makes difficult to find the right part quickly. It's also not just strings of random data like spaghetti toast in the pot. No, the program information must have a certain form and structure. So it's easy to follow because it has clear boundaries between the beginning and the end, and it's easy to be moved and reused. Let's return to the thesis that we already spoke about in the last lesson. A computer program is not magic. The information in our application must be physically materialized in the computer's memory in order CPU to be able to process it. The data is easy to understand and use only when it's structured, clear, and compact. Otherwise, the computer will process it incorrectly and for a very long time, or it will take up a lot of memory. For this, in programming languages, and C# in particular, there are data types that express the application information. They have a clear structure, standardized, and can be compactly placed in the computer memory. Such data types in .NET are value types and reference types. Value types have such a name because they are placed in memory very compactly. Such a compact arrangement is made in a special compact memory called a stack. The stack is needed in order to store operational commands and the data they need. The stack, in terms of its content, is similar to a DAC, in which command cards that must be executed are placed and taken from there when the command has been already executed. This gives all value types certain characteristics that distinguish them. Speed. The computer performs operation with value type faster. Compactness. Value types do not take a lot of memory, stored on the stack. As soon as the context of operation in which they were called is already been executed and left the stack, value types cleaned and released from the memory. These are data types are built on the basis of value type. Integer types like byte or int, float point types like float double, type decimal, boolean, characters, enumeration, and structures. Reference types are another basic data type that possible in .NET. Reference type have such a name because unlike value types that are allocated in the stack, they store in it only reference to their allocation in the heap. The actual value of the reference stored in computer memory called the heap. This memory location is so called because objects there can be stored out of order, so empty areas in the memory are possible. Unlike stack memory, where data types are stored sequentially, and there are no empty areas in the memory. But this does not mean that reference types are lost in the memory. No, because a link to the memory address where the object is stored on the heap is written and stored in the stack, and every time the same object is called in a new context, a reference to the object itself is transferred to this context. In this way, the system does not waste new memory, unlike value types, when in each new context, new memory is allocated on the stack for a copy of this value. For analogy, let's imagine that you are playing a game where you need to find a gift, and there are hints hidden for it. And each new clue leads to another clue until it leads to a gift. That way, you need only one expensive gift and lots of cheap tips. Characteristics of reference types. They store only references to themselves in the stack. They themselves are stored on the heap. They take up more memory and require optimal behavior. They intended to fulfill their role in the program longer than value types. Since there can be many references to a single object in the stack, the reference types are not removed from memory immediately after the operation is completed, but only when there really are no references left to them at all, and there are a need to remove them from memory because since these are heavy types, even cleaning them up is hard work for the computer. Data types that are built on the basis of reference types. It's all classes, interfaces, delegates, records, dynamic type, objects, and strings. To conclude about data types in .NET, the main thing is that we should understand their purpose and built-in features. So later, we could create our own custom data types on the right basement. Because when we create a new application, we need custom information types to fulfill our business logic requirements. But more on this in the next videos. This is it for this lesson. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell not to miss the following videos in the series. Feel free to leave a comment and like this video. And also, I encourage you to help brave people in Ukraine to defend themselves in this horrible war. Please use the QR code or link in the description to visit charitable foundation that help Ukraine. Thanks. See you in the next videos.